Hey, everyone, and welcome back. Today we're going to be diving into a story that's been making headlines
Yeah.
all across the Arab world. And it's a story about beauty and representation and this young woman who is kind of like challenging expectations. It's pretty good.
It is.
Oh,
It is.
yeah.
We're talking about Aya Dohan. She is the newly crowned Miss Arab 2025.
Wow.
And actually, the first Yemeni woman to hold this title in over a decade.
Exactly. That's what makes this whole deep dive so fascinating. We've got a collection of like Arabic news reports.
Right.
And we've got Dohan's own words from her social media. And honestly, I think it's going to like make everyone rethink what they know about beauty pageants.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And cultural norms and like just the power of one person to spark change.
It's a really compelling story. You see, in Yemen, the whole concept of beauty pageants
Right.
is incredibly complex. While they do exist, there's a long history of like social and cultural factors that have made them way less prevalent than in, say, Western countries.
Right. So Dohan's win isn't just like a personal triumph. It's like a cultural phenomenon. Like she announced it on her Facebook page on December 2nd.
Yeah.
And you can just feel the excitement and pride like radiating from this post.
Yeah, she even like expressed her gratitude to the Sultan of Malaysia
Wow.
and Dr. Biki Lee for their support, which speaks volumes about the network of people that helped her achieve this.
Yeah. So let's break down like why this win is so significant, especially in the context of Yemen.
Right.
It's not every day you see a Yemeni woman like on the international stage claiming a title like this.
Absolutely. Yemen, like a lot of countries in the region, has these really deep-rooted cultural norms surrounding women's roles in their public presence. It's a patriarchal society where women have historically been expected to adhere to very specific social expectations.
Right. So for Dohan to step into this role,
Yeah.
it's almost like she's breaking down barriers and challenging those like traditional norms.
Precisely. And it raises all sorts of questions about how women are perceived, both within Yemen, but also in the broader Arab world. It's like she's holding up a mirror to society and saying, look, we're here, we're capable,
Yeah.
and we deserve to be recognized.
For sure. And let's not forget, this isn't just about beauty, right?
Right.
The articles that we've gathered highlight that the Miss Arab competition went way beyond,
Yeah.
just physical appearance.
Totally. The contestants were judged on their intelligence, their cultural awareness,
Wow.
and their ability to like articulate their perspectives on a whole range of topics. It's it's a far cry from that stereotypical image of a beauty pageant that some people might have.
Okay, this is where things get really interesting. Dohan mentions in her post that the final ceremony took place in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia.
Okay.
So she's not just representing Yemen on a regional stage. She's representing her country on a global platform.
Yeah, and that adds like a whole other layer of complexity to it. Think about the international spotlight this brings to Yemen, a country that's so often associated with conflict and instability. And suddenly you have this young woman just like radiating confidence and poise, and she's challenging these preconceived notions about Yemeni women and showcasing the nation's like rich cultural heritage.
It's a powerful statement.
Yeah.
And it makes you wonder how this victory might influence perceptions both within Yemen, but also internationally.
It's hard to say, what the long-term impact will be, but it definitely has the potential to be a catalyst for change. Think about all the young girls in Yemen who are watching Dohan.
Yeah.
They see someone who looks like them achieving success on this global stage.
Right.
And it plants a seed of possibility.
It's like that saying, if she can see it, she can be it.
Exactly.
Right.
And for those outside of Yemen, it challenges stereotypes and assumptions about Arab women. It showcases their diversity, their talent, and their resilience, which is so crucial in a world that, often reduces entire cultures to these simplistic narratives.
So Dohan's win isn't just about her personal journey. It's like a cultural moment
Yeah.
with the potential to reshape narratives and inspire change. But as you mentioned, it also raises some really interesting questions. How will she navigate these like newfound expectations?
Right.
What challenges might she face as she steps into this role?
Those are all great questions, and those are some of the things that we'll be exploring in the next part of our deep dive.
Awesome.
We'll unpack the potential, opportunities and challenges that come with such a significant win, and we'll delve into that complex cultural landscape that Dohan will be navigating.
I'm excited.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
We were just talking about how Aya Dohan's win could really like challenge perceptions of Yemeni and Arab women.
Right.
But, she's not just a symbol.
Right.
She's a person navigating this really complex cultural landscape.
Exactly, and that's what makes this so fascinating. She's Miss Arab 2025, representing Yemen on this global stage.
Yeah.
But she's also still a young Yemeni woman, subject to certain cultural expectations.
Right. So let's dive into those expectations a little bit. What specific pressures do you think she might face as she moves forward?
Well, in Yemen, traditional gender roles are, really deeply ingrained. Women are often expected to prioritize family and domestic responsibilities.
Yeah.
And their public presence is often subject to certain limitations.
Okay, so how might those expectations, play out now that she's kind of in the spotlight?
Well, I think she'll need to find this delicate balance between representing her culture and staying true to herself.
Yeah.
Some might expect her to, adhere to traditional norms of dress and behavior, while others might encourage her to embrace a more, modern and outspoken approach.
It's like she's walking a tightrope between these different, perspectives.
Yeah.
What do you think she should prioritize?
It's not really about what I think she should do.
Yeah.
It's about her defining her own path. This is where her personal values and goals come into play.
Yeah, that's a great point. So she kind of has this chance to really define what it means to be a modern Yemeni woman on the world stage.
Absolutely, and that's incredibly powerful. It's not just about conforming to existing expectations, it's about shaping those expectations for future generations.
Dohan specifically mentions in her post that she's grateful to the Sultan of Malaysia for his support. What does that tell us about the role of cultural diplomacy in this whole story?
Well, I think it highlights that this win isn't just a personal victory for Dohan. It's a moment of cultural exchange and connection.
Yeah.
The Sultan's support, I think, suggests that he sees value in celebrating diversity and empowering women, across the Arab world.
And she also acknowledges Dr. Biki Lee, which suggests that there's this broader network of individuals that are supporting her journey.
Exactly. It emphasizes the importance of mentorship and collaboration.
Yeah.
Having strong role models and a supportive network can be crucial, especially when navigating uncharted territory.
So speaking of uncharted territory, what are some of the specific opportunities that Dohan could seize now that she has this platform?
Well, think about the, global reach of the Miss Arab competition. She now has this really unique platform to advocate for causes that she cares about.
Like what, specifically?
I mean, it could be anything. It could be, promoting education for girls in Yemen, raising awareness about humanitarian crises in the region. She could even use her platform to challenge stereotypes about Arab women and highlight, their contributions to society.
It's almost like she's been handed this megaphone and the whole world is listening.
Yeah.
But like we've been discussing, that megaphone also comes with a lot of responsibility, right?
Oh, absolutely.
She has to be mindful of how her words and actions are perceived.
For sure. And that's where, critical thinking and strategic decision-making become crucial.
Yeah.
She'll really need to weigh the potential impact of her actions and think carefully about how to use her platform effectively.
And let's not forget about the, potential for backlash.
Right.
Not everyone's going to agree with her choices, especially in a society where those traditional norms are so deeply ingrained.
That's inevitable, yeah.
Right.
Anytime someone challenges the status quo, there will be people who resist that change.
So how can she deal with that kind of negativity and pressure?
I think it's about, surrounding herself with a strong support system.
Okay.
Mentors who can guide her and friends and family who believe in her vision.
Uh-huh.
It's also about staying true to her own values.
Right.
And not being afraid to speak her truth even when it's uncomfortable.
It sounds like this journey is going to be as much about personal growth and resilience as it is about representing Yemen.
Exactly. And that's what makes it so compelling. We're not just watching a beauty queen.
Yeah.
We're witnessing a young woman's evolution as she navigates, complexities of culture and identity and global responsibility.
And her journey raises some really interesting questions for all of us, I think. How do we challenge stereotypes in our own communities? What role can we play in supporting women's empowerment, even if we don't have this global platform?
These are questions worth pondering, Dohan's story is a good reminder that change often starts with individuals who are willing to challenge norms and push boundaries.
But her journey also highlights the importance of collective action. right?
Oh, absolutely.
Real change requires a shift in societal attitudes
Yeah.
and the dismantling of those like systemic barriers.
Exactly. It's about creating a world where every individual, regardless of their gender or background, has the opportunity to thrive and reach their full potential.
It's just incredible to think that one person's story, can spark such a wide-ranging conversation
I know, right?
about cultural norms and representation and individual empowerment.
Yeah, absolutely. And Aya Dohan's story, I think, is especially compelling because it challenges us to think beyond these simplistic narratives.
Right.
She's not just a beauty queen or a symbol, right? She's this complex individual navigating, this multifaceted cultural landscape.
And her story also reminds us that change is rarely a linear process.
Right.
It's often messy and full of contradictions and unexpected turns.
Totally. Yeah. And that's important to remember. I think we get so caught up in, wanting to see immediate sweeping transformations. But real change often happens incrementally for the actions of countless individuals who are willing to, push boundaries and challenge the status quo.
Dohan mentions in her Facebook post that this win wouldn't have been possible without the support of her family and friends.
Yeah.
And that speaks volumes, I think, about the importance of community and the power of collective action.
It's a good reminder that, we don't exist in isolation.
Right.
We're all part of this larger social fabric, right?
Yeah.
And our actions, have ripple effects. So supporting women's empowerment, it isn't just about celebrating individual achievements. It's about creating a culture where those achievements are even possible.
So what can we do as individuals to, contribute to that culture of empowerment?
I think, it starts with awareness.
Okay.
We have to recognize those subtle ways that gender stereotypes and biases shape our perceptions and limit opportunities.
Yeah.
And we need to challenge those stereotypes in our everyday conversations and, interactions.
Yeah, for sure. And it's about amplifying women's voices.
Exactly.
Making space for them in leadership positions and in decision-making and just spaces where their perspectives have historically been marginalized.
And, it's about supporting organizations and initiatives that are working to advance gender equality. There are tons of grassroots organizations all over the world that are doing amazing work to empower women and girls.
And, let's not forget the importance of mentorship. As Dohan's story shows us, having those strong role models and mentors can make a huge difference.
Absolutely. Sharing our experiences and knowledge and networks can really empower the next generation of women leaders.
Dohan's victory, I think, has ignited a conversation that extends so far beyond just beauty pageants.
Yeah, I agree.
It's a conversation about representation, cultural identity, and the power of individual action to spark broader social change.
And as we wrap up this deep dive,
I
hope it leaves everyone with a sense of, possibility and a renewed commitment to challenging stereotypes and advocating for a more just and equitable world for everyone.
So as we celebrate Aya Dohan's historic win, let's also remember that each of us has a role to play.
Absolutely.
In shaping a world where all women have the opportunity to shine.
Such a powerful thought.
That's a wrap on our deep dive into Aya Dohan's remarkable journey and the complexities of Yemeni culture and the broader conversation about women's empowerment in the Arab world.
Thanks for joining us.